Hello, I'm Stanisław Saganowski from Wrocław University of Science and Technology in Poland. Today, I'd like to talk to you about emotion recognition outside the laboratory environment. I believe I don't have to convince you that emotion recognition in real-life scenario has plenty of applications. We can help people with autism express and perceive emotions. We can try to detect early symptoms of depression. We could improve psychotherapy and overall well-being. We can also improve existing systems, such as chatbots, gaming, recommender systems. There are dozens of systems that are desperately waiting for emotion recognition systems that will be precise and reliable. No wonder that plenty of researchers are tackling this problem. The most common approach is to perform laboratory studies where we gather some participants. We carefully pick the devices that will be used to gather signals. We usually gather physiological signals, EEG, BVP, ECG. We can also capture voice or face and try to infer emotions from these modules. Once we have enough data, we perform machine learning to create a model. And we celebrate that the model achieves high accuracy. In our paper, we usually write some possible applications and we say, yes, it will work. It will be great. We will conquer the world. Unfortunately, the reality is so much different because laboratory environment is very much different from the real life. Out there, out of the lab, the conditions are uncontrolled. We have no control over the conditions. We don't know what stimuli is out there waiting for participants. They usually don't report that. We cannot use the medical equipment, or at least high quality equipment to gather signals. We have to use something small and convenient to the user. We have no idea how to label the data, the signals that we collect. Should we ask the participants constantly in random time what they are feeling? Or maybe we can try to do that in the evening, but then there is no chance that they will point out the precise moment during the day when they experience the emotions. To overcome some of these problems, we have developed a cognition system. We have worked on this system for over a year, and I think the best way to show it to you is to show you the demo. Please watch.
Hi, we are the Imognition Group from Wrocław University of Science and Technology, and here is our system for emotion recognition in everyday life using wearables. Our system consists of two apps. One Tizen app for Samsung Galaxy Watch and one Android app for smartphones. Our system is also compatible with Polar H10 chest strap. To start recording physiology, you have to put on the strap and establish its connection with the app. The smartwatch is not gathering signals when it's charging. Once you remove it from the charger and put it on your wrist, our system starts processing the physiological signals automatically. The Android application informs the user about the connection status. Once the system recognizes an intense emotion, it sends notification asking users to report their emotions using brief questionnaire. We ask users to confirm whether they experienced an intense emotion and about their valence and arousal state. They can also describe the context in the comments section. The system also allows users to provide the self-report whenever they want to. You can find more about us on our social media and our website.
So in general, our system collects physiological signals that are annotated with labels. We can use these labels to create a pre-trained machine learning model that would recognize whether the participant is experiencing emotion or is in neutral state. The model works in real time, so whenever it decides that the participant is experiencing emotion, the model will trigger self-assessment and ask user to label the signal. From there, we have more samples to create even better model, and the circle closes. It's quite common that we will run one laboratory or field study, actually, yeah, field study. Then we will have another study, and then yet another study. We can constantly collect data and improve our model. However, it's usually the best if you adjust the model to the participants that are in the current study. So because of that, at the very beginning of a new study, we have problem known especially in recommender systems called cold start problem. When there are not enough data, when the system meets new users and have no idea how to treat the new users. So we considered 4 scenarios of such problem to decide when to retrain the model. So one scenario would be using old samples. This is the only possible scenario at the very beginning of the study. Another scenario is using mixed samples, partially from old studies and partially from the current study, once we gather some new samples. Another scenario number 3, is using only the new samples. This scenario is possible only when we collect enough data to create a new model. Yet another obvious scenario is using all possible data that we had previously and that we collected up to the point. And to validate all the possible scenarios, we will be using untouched data from the current study that lasts 2 weeks. Here are some details about the experimental setup. For this particular study, we used a smartwatch, Samsung Galaxy Watch 3. So we have a BVP signal from which we can obtain HR and HRV. And we also have accelerometer data. We use 60 seconds of recordings we treat it as a single sample. We perform for the classical feature-based learning, we extract mostly statistical features such as mean, max, variance, quartiles, standard deviation, and other. We also extract frequency based features such as power spectrum in low and high frequency, energy, and other, and time-related features such as day in week or time during the day. We have validated several approaches to build the model. The classical based on the features where we use the most popular classifiers. Also end-to-end learning, where we use the raw signals. And we also tried simple multi-layer perceptron with features. And these were our results. So you can see that when you gradually increase the amount of samples from the current data, the model performs better. And you can see that the best performing model was model created in scenario number 3, which was the data were only from the current study. This was expected and is not very surprising, but it's nice to have a confirmation in results. What is a bit surprising is that the model from scenario number 4, where we had all possible data, performed worse than scenario number 3. And the difference in the number of samples was quite huge, because scenarios 1, 2, and 3 all had the same number of samples used to training and validation as well. No, it's used to training, sorry. It was 230. And the last scenario could learn from 700 samples. So it was 3 times more samples to learn. And yet, still the scenario number 3 was the best. So then this clearly indicates that that personalization works very well. So the steps that we are focusing right now is improving our models, collecting more samples using the system. We also fix some minor issues in the system, extend with some functionality, integrate with other wearables. But we also prepare a large study that we would like to run in the field. And we would like to start it at the end of this year. So the takeaway from this talk would be to personalize your models, whether it's, if you can, do that for each of your participants, if you have enough data. And if you don't have enough data, you can do this for some groups of users or clusters of users, if you can cluster them, identify similar participants. Whenever, whether it's per participant or per group personalization, it still hopefully will improve your model. So yeah, please do that. The fantastic team behind the emognition system and in general behind the emognition research is these guys. So I would like to thank them for their support and their work in the system. And if you are interested in this kind of research, if you would like to collaborate us or maybe use our system, try how it works, feel free to contact us. You can also visit our social media to find out more what we are doing right now. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer any questions.